Oh, really? Really? It's wrong to let people know that our abuse and exploitation of animals has led us to this point where we are having a global pandemic, because that is exactly what has happened. Hey, it's David at Skinny Vegan Fitness, back with another video and back with another 5-Minute Friday. You may notice that I'm not in the same place as usual. That's because we had to move because of the situation with the government here in India. Anyway, that's a long story, but I've got this new place now. We've got some new lights set up with these red kind of orange curtains and green. It does feel a little bit Christmassy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this a good look? Before we go on with the rest of the video, I want you to stop for a second and just do 3 things for me. Just 3 little things: like, comment, and subscribe. I used the same finger twice. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do that now, or do the comment afterwards. Obviously, that's fine. If you do the comment after the video, that makes sense. But at least like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell right now. For you, it means nothing. It really doesn't cost you anything, but it really, really helps this video and gets this content out to more people. That's how YouTube works. Now let's start the 5-Minute Friday. Put those 5 minutes on the clock, and let's kick off with the first story. In not the last video, the one before that, we talked about how PETA made a retweet of that farmer's daughter with the 2 little calves. If you didn't see it already, there's the video just up on the screen now. Refresh your memory. And there was this huge controversy around him and his people saying that PETA should remove this, they should remove it, it's not fair, it's against the rules, blah, blah, blah. All PETA did was retweet the tweet. Now, I covered that, I talked about that, I laughed at the idea that they would remove it, but now Twitter forced them to remove it. They removed the tweet after pressure from this guy and his legal team. The response of the farmer community, of course, has been elation. They're very happy about this. It's so cringe. I can't believe that PETA was censored for retweeting a public tweet. It really is pathetic. And now this farmers organizations, Farmers Weekly, all these are all celebrating as if they've won something. You may have won this particular battle, but it doesn't change the fact that what you're doing is immoral. And what is happening in that video with that little girl having that beautiful time with those babies, those baby cows, doesn't change the fact that those baby cows are going to be exploited and killed by you. You can point the finger at PETA all you want as if they did something wrong, but it doesn't change the fact that you are abusing animals and that you are doing something that is immoral and unjustifiable. That's all I have to say on that one. Next, we've got a little bit more drama, actually. The CEO of the Animal Agriculture Alliance, she wrote a Medium post. So Medium is this website where you can go on and write your own little articles, and it is titled, "Don't be fooled by animal rights groups. COVID-19 has nothing to do with animal agriculture." Now, when I first saw that, I thought, okay, what is this, an opinion piece by some reporter or something like that? Maybe it's somebody like a scientist, maybe. I thought this could be interesting. And then I realized it's written by Kay Johnson Smith, who is the CEO and president of the Animal Agriculture Alliance, which is this non-profit that apparently is working to bridge the gap between the farm and the fork. When they meant by bridge the gap, I think they mean hide the truth, because they don't really want people to see what's going on there. But let's take a look at what she says. She claims that groups like Direct Action Everywhere, the Save Movement, are taking advantage of people when they're most vulnerable. She quotes someone here, this person who is the former Undersecretary for Food Safety of the US Department of Agriculture. So this person is clearly has a massive bias, but let's see what he has to say. "There is absolutely no connection between animal agriculture and the current COVID-19 pandemic or any previous pandemics. There has been no source identified for the current coronavirus, and there is certainly no link to food animals or animal production. It started in a multi-million population center in China, nowhere near any large food animal operations." Now note the wording in this, food animals, because, you know, obviously the USA, they don't consider bats and pangolins to be food animals, so it's a nice way to get around it. Now, he couldn't say animals because then it would be lying. But the next part, it started in a multi-million population center in China, nowhere near any large food animal operations, nowhere near any large food animal operations, but it was definitely near a large animal operation that they would be considered food animals in China. It's semantics and wordplay. It's an absolutely ridiculous comment to make. And then, like, listen to this, this is a good one. "If anything, modern agriculture helps prevent infectious disease outbreaks by not allowing our domestic animals contact with environment contaminated by wild species of animals such as surface water or other environmental contaminants. Do you know a really good way to ensure that domestic animals don't become contaminated with these things in the wild? Don't breed them into existence, enslave them, and then kill them for people to taste them. It's a really simple way to avoid this. They're saying like, hey, look, yeah, we did these animals a favor by keeping them away from these contaminants in the wild. You bred them into existence. How can you breed someone into slavery and then claim you did them a favor by keeping them away from the big bad world outside? It's not like there is this existing problem with all these domesticated animals are just here for no reason. You brought them into the world, so you're responsible now for caretaking for them, and you're not doing that. You're abusing them and killing them. Oh my God, phenomenal. On so many levels. Saying it's immoral to use COVID. This is a good one, this is a good one. It is immoral to use this COVID crisis to drive politically charged vegan agendas. Oh really? Really? It's wrong to let people know that our abuse and exploitation of animals has led us to this point where we are having a global pandemic, because that is exactly what has happened. Maybe it's not the specific animals that you're talking about, but it is our exploitation as a human race, our exploitation of non-human animals that led us to this point. It's not using the pandemic as an excuse. It is showing people the truth that you are not going to be able to hide no matter how many little Medium articles you want to write. And finally, we've got the last story, the celebrity piece, which I'm going to try and include one in each week if I can, because it's interesting, right? It's about Ricky Gervais. Now, I don't know if Ricky Gervais is vegan or not. Can you tell me in the comments and let me know if he's vegan or not? He's done something pretty cool with his platform, with his influence. He's not been afraid to speak about things that he believes and is passionate about. Like you saw him at the Golden Globes, when he ripped into the celebrities, like absolutely destroyed them. Something that he has spoken his mind on recently is actually the coronavirus, the pandemic, the crisis. Now let me just quote him and tell you exactly what he said. He told one of the national newspapers in the UK, he said, "For the sake of people and animals, wildlife trade and consumption has to end now." Okay, he's only focusing apparently on wildlife trade and consumption. It's good that you're speaking out about it, but like, you know, what about all the other animals? So I kept reading. This is the most interesting part. It changes the narrative. We can't carry on exploiting animals, eating wildlife and trashing the planet. The wildlife trade and markets have to close, otherwise it will be a case of when and not if we have another global pandemic. When he talks about exploiting animals, that for me is such a fantastic choice of wording, and I wish more celebrities, when they speak out about veganism, I wish they would use that more. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about animal exploitation. We're not talking about specifically using animals for certain specific things like flesh, dairy, eggs. No, we're talking about exploitation overall. Exploitation is what has caused this pandemic. So the fact that Ricky Gervais actually said that and actually said animal exploitation, he has such a big influence, you know, he's known worldwide. I just think that is amazing. I think it's just a great way, again, to use your influence on the world if you are famous. I don't know if he's vegan or not. I don't know if he's been a hypocrite or not. I hope he's consistent with what he says and what he believes. Either way, it's a good message though, right? We can agree on that. All right, so yet again, I didn't time it. I don't know if we've gone over or not. This is becoming a little bit of a recurring thing. Maybe I can get one of you to hook up with me and send me a reminder on Wednesdays when I film these to ensure that I have timed myself, because I just keep forgetting to do it. I hope you've enjoyed this week's 5-Minute Friday. There's been some really interesting stories in there. Get your weekly fix of a little bit of drama as well. Now it's your chance to tell me what you would like to see. Do not leave before leaving a comment. This is really important, so stop what you're doing. Please stop right now. Maybe pause the video for a second, go down into the comments and tell me, what do you think of this week's video? What would you like to see in next week's video? Give me some feedback. Like, I do this for you, so let's make it about you, right? Let's do this. Thank you so much for watching this. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.